Kaliber missing a lot from those type of fights. So maybe that was probably a big factor, the fact that they knew how to work well together and move around together to make sure they get in that full team fight with 5 men.
Yeah, that was very well noticed to hear, Zena, because I was thinking about that. Sorry, when I saw Carry as the first pick here for 9Z Globant, I was thinking like, okay, it's a good pick, it's a good choice, but it lets Alpha7 to study a draft, to do a draft, you know, with not so many heroes that can benefit Carry. Okay, we're talking about a true damage hero. Even though it is a tanky or not, you know, a Carry is going to melt down anyone that she sees in front of her. But it comes with a composition with Alpha7 that brought many possibilities to not getting caught by Carry. You brought a Harley in the mid game, in a jungler. You brought Sora in the XP lane. You know, you brought Badang in roaming that has a dashes, for example. So for Carry, it was not that easy to like get a safe range and cause the damage that she needed to impact in the game. So there is one that for me that was one of the reasons that we didn't talk too much about Lagusa's performance in the second game, because he didn't show up. He couldn't show up. He was really neutralized with Carry. But now let's see what is going to happen in this final game. It's a best of 3. Alpha7 in the blue side, 9Z Globant in the red side. Oh my goodness.
I feel like we touched on a little bit of it. It was brought up, the team fight participation on Alpha7 was just monumentally more. Almost all team members were up above 75%, and I feel like that's mostly because 9Z Globant was trying to react and bait out a lot of these fights. Chino was going in, going back, going in, trying to draw out a lot of these picks from them. And once he got far enough, that's when you saw the feathered airstrike come down, the damage really raining onto them. And once the fight started going into their favor, that is when you would have Lagusta coming in and trying to lay down the damage on it. Unfortunately, it had to play like that. We didn't have any real front-facing initiations that I thought we were going to have, like where we would have the Fredrin and possibly a final slash. I felt like Alpha7 did a good job of understanding that, all right, we're going to need to be very spread out so that we're not getting caught with like these abilities that like we're not Ube strat. We're not trying to everybody in a tight little circle that's going to allow this final slash to come out. So they did a great job of being able, like I said, to play to their strengths. At first, like I said, once they were able to figure out what they needed to do to stop letting Chino bait them into these fights, they were able to have a lot smoother of a game. Now we move on to the last game point here for Alpha7 taking on 9Z. We're gonna have Zushin out there right now. Finally, again. I wonder, this is kind of, like I said, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just like, where when you look at the bands, you're like, Zushin, do we have the plan for it? Hey, I've seen some very surprising things from 9Z Globant today, and heck, why not throw an ability to defend against Zushin? Do we have the back lane pickup? Because it's not going to be the Harley. We're not going to be able to get back there for the Harley. I believe we still have Yuzong out there that we can possibly get to the back line with to be able to stop her, but it's something that needs to be addressed with this draft, and I'd love to see it addressed in the first half of this draft by 9Z Globant. How are we closing the distance on Zushin?
Yeah, Zushin is unstoppable. Well, she's stoppable, but she's a force to deal with for sure. Something you kind of don't want to go against, for the fact that her CC is amazing and the fact she can stay far away and not be reached. So they're going ahead and picking up that Marcel and Suyu here on the side of 9Z, as well as a Phobius here and a Leo on the side of Alpha7.
Yeah, once again here Marcel in 9Z's Globant hand. Not like, once again, not only to not for today, but in the last weekend versus the Black Lanterns, they brought this Marcel, and it worked really very well in Bodo Crazy's hands. Let's see how they handle today with this composition. But now the response for Alpha7, it comes with Leomord and Fovius. Alright, so it's a stack here for getting the back line. But now with a 9Z heading for a Kimi, it's a range situation here for him, for them, sorry. So that is a kind of this is quite interesting so far.
Okay, we go with the Kimi pickup here. I'm just a little nervous because you're gonna have a very lot of backline dive with the Fovius. Leomord can close the distance. I guess I understand, because if you're looking for something in the mid that does have a little bit of disengage, maybe personally, maybe a Linux could have come out there, but you don't really have the tankiness that you're looking that Linux really counters out as well. The interesting thing for me is that I am a firm believer that Marcel, if you're going to be super successful with Marcel, your draft needs to be built around the Marcel. Like we were seeing the Gwen, the Terizla out there. Both of those have been big pairings for Marcel for a lot of his victories, especially if you're using him offensively. We do know that when it comes to their last match that was successful with Marcel, 9Z Globant would use him more passively to help the teammates to escape and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to be able to get away with that again here with the Leomord, with the Zushin, with the Fovius. We're really going to need to be able to kind of get in there and utilize these stuns, the golden hour as well, to possibly bait down a lot of the time that Leomord has with his Phantom Steed as well. It's going to be very interesting. I want to say I'm very much looking forward to see if we can scrounge something together with this Marcel pick. I do like that Alpha7 took off like the big pairings off the board so that they're not going to have that with Marcel.
Yeah, they did take that Guinevere and Terizla out from there. So, but we did say that 9Z had done it without them. So they may be able to do well. They might have found the recipe for the use of Marcel that we do not know of. They went ahead and banned that Alice here to make sure they get rid of that tanky, annoying mage for them to deal with, right? So let's see what else they are going to choose here. They still need that the gold laner here for Alpha7, as well as their roamer. And then maybe a gold lane, unless they play Kimi in that gold lane, but they still have that chance at either picking that gold or mid. Who knows?
Yeah, it has the possibility, but it's a very, very low, considering that they can choose another marksman here for the gold lane. But now he comes with the glue, heading for the XP lane here, like to get independence, to get like to have a very comfortable 1v1 with Fovius. That can be very interesting. But now we're ready for the last two picks for Alpha7, assuming there is still a gold lane lacking and the roaming. Maybe Hylos that it wasn't choosing yet for Alpha7. I don't think that it could be very interesting here. They're not allowed to use they can choose Khalid is another example. To the gold lane here is not Bruno anymore, but there is still no Claude. I'm kind of lost. Oh, Moskov and Hylos. Okay, good. Yeah, especially with the split push. Yeah, the Claude was to 9Z Globant here. But I have to think about like this global ultimate for Moskov, that he can join the team fight anytime that he wants.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. We are at a game point as we take a last look at the final mock-up of the compositions coming out from 9Z Globant and Alpha7. It's going to be very interesting for me. We have both the Zushin and the Marcel open for it. Zushin a little bit more, I feel like more favorable when it comes to the stats for being left open than Marcel, who a lot of teams have struggled to be able to make work here. We're going to see if that changes here tonight. 9Z Globant, actually both of these teams, 9Z Globant and Alpha7, have both been very successful with their Marcel pickup. So they're going to be looking to, you know, that 9Z Globant looking to duplicate that here.
It is the final proof. Whose Marcel is going to be the best one here? It's for Alpha7 or a 9Z Globant. But guys, let's go once again. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. This is the last game, the final game of this best of 3. 9Z Globant versus Alpha7. It's now or never, my friend Private.
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting games. I was not expecting to be like the real nail biter, the really close one. Both of these teams seem very evenly matched. The Marcel pickup is going to be very interesting, just because, like I said, it's been one of those things that have been ups and downs for a lot of team members, especially on the side of Alpha7, where we do have the Zushin already, which is more often than not is very successful when it is picked up here. You see a lot of big a lot of pushing coming out from the side of Alpha7 to already make themselves a nuisance, make sure that they are constantly putting this pressure onto 9Z Globant.
Yeah, I have a feeling here that 9Z Globant is going to play more reactive in this game, you know, especially with the Marcel pick here, the Marcel situation that is working very well for disengage than engage here. And we're seeing Alpha7 with Fovius, with Leomord, you know, they like to play aggressive, but now a 2v1 here in mid lane, but Frost never is able to gain mobility, is able to play safe with Zunshin. She has his mobility, but now in the top lane he comes a party because Paquito now is forced to head back in the base. No, he's still in the top side here. But now Luizinho is just trying to steal the beetle. Oh, the lizard, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's you can already have 3 members here. This is just, I mean, Frostline Eve by himself is able to hold off 3 members at mid. He even gets a little bit of a push and damage on the Fashion there as well. Bequito on the back end. Chino looking for that split. Out comes the Phantom Steed. Flick able to find himself a kill onto the Lord. Frostline Eve finds a kill as well. That's going to be 1 in the pocket and a turtle for Alpha7.
That is the global presence from Moscow that I was talking about. With the ultimate, he was able to join the team fight, guarantee the first turtle, guarantee the first kill for Alpha7. 9Z Globant. Okay, trying to play safe, trying to play reactive. Is this the best idea for their composition? I'm not sure.
I feel like, especially when you've got Frostlane Eve, when you've got such early game. Oh, actually, Alberto Crazy in trouble. Out comes the glorious pathway from Paquito. Alberto Crazy is able to find himself an escape. If you've got such a great early game, as does Alpha7, I feel like the worst thing you can do as 9Z Globant is to kind of play passively. Is it to kind of sit back and let things happen? You kind of just need to keep farming up. The problem is you don't want to mix that into taking unnecessary fights. When you have the golden hour is out, you see there, freezing Paquito down, Alberto Crazy. That's a very interesting choice of use for that ultimate. There's like, I almost kind of feel like it was a little bit of a waste of his ultimate there. Now, like there wasn't a point where I thought, oh, this is actually they're gonna get the kill on this or what have you. So very interesting there coming out from 9Z Globant.
Yeah, so now here almost 4 minutes. The first turret was guaranteed by Alpha7. Now waiting for the second one. 17 seconds left. Both teams are working on the mid lane here to cause pressure to clean the minion waves. But now we can have a 3v3 situation in the river.
Yeah, now you see Alberto crazy. Oh, actually gets caught there. We do have a nice little ultimate coming out there from Fashion on that Kimmy. The rest of Alpha7 getting in a good position to stave off this turtle. Good job by Paquito and Hesu to go ahead and zone out Alberto crazy and the rest of 9Z Globant, who are not going to be contesting this turtle. Oh, you see SOD does come out on the top lane all the way. Oh, Alberto crazy. A little bit of an engagement comes out here from the side of Chino and Paquito fighting off in this purple. I believe that buff, I can't tell who actually got that buff, but I want to say 9Z Globant, they're not able to get these objectives. They're not even fighting for it. Oh, we do have a golden hour coming out to freeze up Hesu. And like I said, right now, I'm just not feeling the usefulness of some of these ultimates coming out from Alberto Crazy. We're not really out of the laning phase, and I feel like once we get into a lot of these team fights, that will become a little bit more evident is how well he can use a lot of these golden hours. 5-minute mark, still 1-0 in favor of Alpha7.
Yeah, and the fact is, it is all that Alpha7 wanted to, all that Alpha7 preferred to play aggressive, play forward. As we're seeing the gold lead here, almost 2k for Alpha7. Okay, just one kill in Frost Laneve's hand, but the gold lead here and the confidence for Alpha7 to like play, not only caring about like the response for 9Z Globant, they engage that coming up, that can come out from the other side, because we don't have, because you're playing with a Glue, you're playing with a Marcel. Okay, they have the golden hour, they have this crowd control. But for engage, we are seeing so far that it's not working. But oops, here it comes.
Yeah, Luisino is going to have to get out of there. We do have the Phantom Steed coming out. Luisino in trouble, getting chased down and gunned down underneath his tower. Now big damage coming on to Chino, who is not long for this world. 3-0 for Alpha7. Up at the top, another glorious pathway is out, followed by, you see the ultimate coming out from Frost Lane Eve. A big push coming out from Alpha7, winning on different angles of this match. Bottom lane has minions now pushing on to tower. 1 second left for this turtle as Alpha7 turned their attention to start on that while putting on pressure at the mid lane as well.
Working with the goals, working with the objectives here, with the macro also. 3 turtles for Alpha7. The first turret in the top side and in the bottom side here for the Alpha7 team. Yeah, so things are getting crazy, things are getting better for Alpha7, especially in the goal lead here, almost 4k, but here comes.
Yeah, big pressure mounting up at mid. You do see the Chino getting pushed up there. Phantom Steed is out and pushed Chino all the way back into Alpha7, and that's going to be a kill for them, plus the mid-high, or the mid-first tier 1 tower as well. That's going to be all the tier 1s taken up and opening up this jungle of 9Z Globant, who have been unable to find an answer just yet.
Yeah, so now there's no the line, the first line of turret here for 9Z Globant. Alberto Crazy. Yeah, okay, he has a dash, he has the stun, the buff here, but now Alpha7 is playing aggressive once again. The focus can be the bottom line. Let's go.
The golden hour out, but then Blazing Duet into the backside as well. Now the rest of Alpha7 pushing onto 9Z Globant, who are taken very, very low. Is that going to be enough? Upatizes finds a kill onto Gusta Lagusta. Chino able to answer it back to Hesu, who is able to reply in kind. Flick finds the kill there as well. 6-1 in favor of Alpha7.
2-for-1 here for Alpha7, but now they're heading for taking down the turret number 2 here in the bottom lane. They still continue the pressure in the jungler, in the side, but now Paquito, what are you doing there? Okay, he used the glorious path to survive, but Private, I think that here the goal lead is almost a 7k for Alpha7. It's a complete different game, this last one.
Yeah, I feel like some of those prime pickups, some of those prime compositions from 9Z Globant have kind of been used out here. The Marcel pickup, like I said, I wasn't a fan of it before. I just don't like when we don't have a composition that really complements this pickup as well. And unfortunately, using it on this kind of reactive type of a stance isn't benefiting them at all. You see, they did try to get an offensive golden hour, but it was immediately met by the Phantom Steed, by the glorious pathway laid down. The Alpha7 immediately charged in to make sure that nobody from 9Z Globant was in a position to really take advantage of that stun.
Yeah, here 9 minutes and 26 seconds. This the first Lord here guaranteed by Alpha7. One more advantage. Alpha7 now very confident, playing forwards, playing aggressive, focusing on the macro game, focusing on the turret. Okay, 9Z Globant has Gusta La Gusta as that could be one of the win conditions here when Claude get the items necessary to cause damage, you know. But so far, I don't see it happening because Alpha7 has like a very huge advantage, and they don't play like taking risks, you know. They play safe, they play guaranteed here, but oh, the flank, okay.
Yeah, you see just the high grounds left right now. Bro Crazy takes the heap of damage. Ooh, goes in with the golden hour, catches two. Is the rest of the team going to be in a good position to take them down? And they are not able to take advantage of it there. Lord coming down at the bottom. Pressure starting to mount at the mid and top towers as well. 6-1 right now is 9Z Globant. Ooh, Gusta Lagusta comes in with the Blazing Duet. Out comes the Phantom Steed. Flick looking to put the damage on, but as 9Z Globant BMIs to safety. Mid tower, high ground has been taken down. The split is out. Chino might be in a little bit of trouble. Uses that flicker onto the back line. Demonic Force from Hesu starting to slam down. Down goes Chino. Out comes a SOD from Upatizi as well. 7-3 right now. 9Z Globant trying to get their wits about them as Alpha7 have bursted into their base.
I was waiting Upatizi join the fight when we got the ultimate, but he only joined to clean the minion waves in the top lane when everything was like over. Like, okay, I'm here. No, just to clean the minion wave here. But now seeing the items so far, Claude with almost the Trinity 1, Golden Staff and Demon Hunter, while Moskov has a Corrosion Sight, Golden Staff and Demon Hunter, and Wings of Nature. So the gold lane here for Alpha7 is still way ahead for Gusta La Gusta, but once again, here comes Alpha7.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and charge in. That's gonna back up the rest of 9Z Globant away from that defense there. And right now we are just counting down. Unfortunate for the side of 9Z Globant, who seem to be down about 9K gold. They can't contest turtles. They can't get into too many fights unless they're looking to make. Ooh, SOD does just go a little wide for Alpha7. And yeah, they're just stuck at turtling up in base, trying to get any type of scraps left for these minions. 9K gold lead for Alpha7. 11 seconds for the next Lord.
Yeah, it came into my house, the Spears of Destiny here. I saw passing through here. Okay. But even though 9Z Globant trying to do something, Alpha7, the advantage is so huge, Private, that even though that Albero Crazy got the golden hour, that we were expecting that 9Z were doing the follow-up to cause damage and trying to take down the players, they decided not to do that. They decided to just escape, to just play safe, you know. It was for once again, the golden hour was for a disengage than doing something for 9Z Globant. But the fact is, another Lord that is heading for Alpha7 once again. It's more map domination, it's more gold lead for Alpha7, it's more oppression. I think that this Lord can finish the game.
Yeah, I mean, I would put it at that too. Now you have Lord App at mid. I feel like 9Z Globant, this is the part of the games where I'm kind of like, I understand you don't want to feed, you don't want to give them unnecessary kills, but there comes a certain point with like, are we just going to spend the entire game turtled in our base, or do we try to make a play? Do we try to go out there, try to find somebody and try to get this W? Now you can see the last high ground tower being mounted down by Alpha7. Lord goes down. Now Chino goes into the back line, getting chunked down. A big golden hour does land on the 2 members, but they are unable to take advantage. Flick finds the Phantom Steed out there as well. Now minions are starting to get taken down by Alpha7. They still need the waves, as 9Z Globant did a good job of trying to clear those out. First ones in are going to be the mid lanes. Now we're going to have the silence. Ooh, they're going to go ahead and latch on to Upatizi. They were able to make him pay.
Oh.
Down goes Luisino, and this might spell the end. Frost Lady has activated that ultimate. Alburo, crazy on the backside, is going to have to get back underneath the base. Gusta Lagusta has the blazing duet as well. A little bit of a close-up there in case you missed it. Alburo crazy trying to get back to his base. He gets taken out as well. Hesu now trying to fight back. There's only 2 members left. Scratch that. 2 members left for the 9Z Globant. Fashion gets taken down, and ladies and gentlemen, Alpha7 able to find themselves a series victory.
We saw Patrick lay down over the Land of Dawn, but most important here is the victory for Alpha7. 2-1 in a reverse sweep for against 9Z Globant, Zina.
All right, Alpha7 making a mark there in the early game, claiming 2 turtles and 2 kills by minute 5, and that just set the tone for the rest of the game there. They were able to basically take full control of the map and objectives and just tunneled their way down and took out 9Z. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's much different from the first and second game, which I felt were a lot more easier. It felt like this final game, 9Z Globant just ran out of gas, ran out of steam, and I want to say, I'm not sure if this was even play style, but I felt like that draft was like the big kicker in it too, is like that draft really kind of signaled it for the end when Marcel just really, they were not able to take advantage of what he provided. We did see a few golden hours there, even offensive golden hours that they got out, latched on the 2 members, but were not able to mount the damage, not able to follow up with anything of significance, especially once you're down about 5 or 6k gold. I think the ending of this, they were down by about 10k.
Yeah, this third game here, we were talking about like this draft composition for both teams, and when it comes to Marcel, the most effective one that we already seen was Marcel for disengage, and it was not like a combining for 9Z's performance, 9Z's personality, because they like to play aggressive one, as Alpha7 as well. So Alpha7 brought these tools for doing that with Zunshin, with Hylos here with the Glorious Path. We had Leonard with the Phantoms team to trying to initiate this team fights, especially around the objectives or even before the objectives. So Alpha7 had the keys, had the tools to play aggressive, even more than 9Z Globant. So that is why we saw 9Z Globant in this third game completely different from the others, that they were like playing a back, they were playing safe, they were playing reactive for so many times here. So it didn't bring the victory for 9Z Globant.
Yeah, as we take a look at some of these plays out here too. I mean, right from the get-go, even the SOD coming in to help out with the teammates from the first fight going in. You could already tell the domination happening and the problems that they were having with a lot of these rotations, getting caught out. Luisino there, you see taken out by Flick, and then eventually they double team on to Chino to finish the job, bringing them to a 3-0 game there. And then they just worked surgically. They didn't, it wasn't super high, but they got the kills, they got their objectives that they needed immediately. So a great pushing job. Alpha7 just took them a few games, I feel. Like, here's one of those, you could see right there, one of those golden hours that kind of went out, but just not able to follow up with it. It's like, what's the point? What can we do to try to actually get in there, especially when we're at a point where we are about like a 6K gold deficit for our team. I think we had another golden hour that was just really great, and it caught some decent members, but nobody from the team was able to follow up. So, I mean, and that is unfortunate when you have a Marcel on your team and you're not able to make use of him, especially with how high we treat him in the meta right now. We had the first series where neither team banned or picked Marcel, and here we had a point where he's 100% pick ban rate, and when we finally do get to pick him up, we're not able to utilize him.
Right, and here we go. Right place or right time in every single moment. This player was everywhere. Our MVP is Flick with Leo here. He did not die at all. The 408 KDA, 38.4 total damage, 861 golds per minute. He was a driving force for the team.
The immortal Flick, the Highlander Flick, here's the MVP from the last game for Alpha7 with a Leo Mord 408 with a very good KDA here. And once again, Alpha7 were having the tools to win this last game in the dominance as they did, because they had Moscow with the global ultimate here that could join the team fight whenever they want. They have the roaming also Paquito with Hylos with the glorious path here to like trying to engage and trying to get this team fights more benefit to help Alpha7 in that kind of situation. You have Vios to get in the back line, to get stacks in the back line here to neutralize the 80s for 9Z Globant. So everything went well since from the draft, the idea for Alpha7 until the execution. So when you get the idea and the execution works so well, it is very good for the team. It is very good to get the confidence and to play forward, to play aggressive as Alpha7 did.
Yeah, and not just that, but I feel like there were some great combinations here when it came to having the Phantom Steed and the Glorious Pathway. So not only did you have to worry about the